everyone. I think it's just me right now. So today we're going to do bento boxes, and if you come in late, then you can start the video and watch it from the beginning. I'm Katie at the Spruce Pine Public Library, and this is part of our Tales and Tales summer reading program, especially for teens. That's what this one is. So all of the teens at the beginning of the summer, when you signed up for summer reading, you should have received a teen kit in a box. This is the lid of the box. And you see I have applied my stickers to the lid of my box. So you should do that too if you want. If you need more stickers, stop by the library. If you want to make it so that you can wash this without the stickers peeling off, all you need to do is take a hair dryer and blow it over the stickers. They're made out of vinyl, so they should kind of heat shrink to the plastic so that they won't come off if you don't want them to. So there you go. You can do it to other things too. Just don't do it to your forehead. So we're going to make bento boxes. You may be wondering, what is a bento box? A bento box is basically a Japanese lunch box, and if you're interested in finding out more about them, you can get all kinds of really cool books at the library about bento. I think this is my favorite one I found. It is a manga cookbook, and it has other things in it as well, but it does have a little section on bento, and the whole thing, I'll show you the inside, is with this really cute little anime character and her cat. So she is cooking with this cat, and the cat has various comments to make about her cooking. So this is available for you to check out. I ordered it, you know, we're part of the NC Cardinal system now at Spruce Pine. So instead of just being part of our regional library system, which is Avery, Mitchell, and Yancey counties, now we can get books and movies for you from all over the state of North Carolina. And if you go to a different library in the state of North Carolina and they're part of Cardinal, you can check out books and materials, and then you can return them here at Spruce Pine. So it looks like we have someone joined us. Daryl. Hi. Can you hear me, Daryl? You might be muted. If you want to ask anything at any time, just go ahead and unmute yourself. And my name's Katie, and we're talking about bento boxes. So that was the manga cookbook that we just looked at. Hi, Daryl.
Hi, is it just you and me so far?
Well, are you a teen?
I'm not a teen, but I make lots of lunches for my wife, who's a nurse. So I just wanted to sit in on the class. I don't plan to intrude a lot.
Oh, cool. This is only for teens, but I am recording it, so you'd be welcome to watch the recording later. Okay. Would that be okay?
So it's not okay just to sit quietly and watch you do it?
No, because it's a teen program, so it's just for teenagers.
I see. How inclusive of you.
I know, but I'd be happy. Okay, so there is Daryl. All right, so another bento box that we have. Bento cookbook is called Little Bento, and it is more like Americanized bento. So it's got more ingredients that you can find in the grocery store here at Ingalls. So that makes it kind of cool. And, you know, it's got some neat little ideas. You've got in your teen kit that you picked up, that box is kind of separated out into segments like this. So you could do something similar to a lot of things in this book. You can also make bento boxes from other containers that you have around the house. So if you want to make one for a friend and give it to them, you know, you can use like little empty yogurt cups that you rinse out, or a lot of times if you order food to go, which we've been doing a lot in the last year probably, it comes in containers that you could wash and reuse as a bento box. So it's kind of a nice surprise to make someone lunch and give it to them. All right, here's another one. This is the Just Bento cookbook. This one is more Japanese style. So it has more things that have to do with cooking techniques that are Japanese, which I really enjoy. Let's see, well, a long time ago, I decided that I wanted to be a sushi chef. And I was a sushi chef for a while. So I got trained how to make sushi. And I lived in Japan for a little while. And it was really fun. I ate a lot of things that I had no idea what they were. I still don't know what those things were, but they were good. Some of them were not so good. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna show you a few techniques that I think are pretty cool. And so the way we're gonna do this is I'm gonna try to get it so that the camera is pointing at the cutting board because that's where I'm gonna do most of the work. So let's see if we can make this work like this. Oh, look at that. All right, so on my cutting board, I have an assortment of these little cookie cutter doodads. You should have gotten a couple of these in your teen kit, or you may have received early on. I had these, which this is a mold that you can get. And so actually, let's start with the mold because I think it's super exciting. These molds, you can use them to put rice in the mold, so especially sushi rice, but I found out that you can use them to put boiled eggs in. So the important thing about this is to have an egg. So I started out with 3 this morning and I cooked them before I came to work. So I boiled them for 3.5 or 4 minutes, something like that. So not a hard boiled egg. And then while it was still warm, I put it in this mold. And my mold is the bunny mold. So we'll open it up and see how the egg is doing in here. Oh, come out, egg. Oh, it is so cute. Look at the bunny. Okay, it looks like we had somebody else join us. Hello. It might be Willa. We'll say hello in a minute. So here we have a bunny egg, which I really think the bunny egg is cute. So we could try to do it with another one. I do have a couple more eggs, but like I said, from what I read, it works better if you do it while the egg's still kind of warm. So this may or may not work, but you know, you want to kind of peel the egg carefully without getting egg everywhere, hopefully, and without mashing it up. Oddly enough, I've been reading a lot about eggs because I have chickens. And sometimes you may notice that an egg is really difficult to peel, like the membrane that's on the egg. It gets stuck and then your egg falls apart and then you're sad because your egg doesn't look good. That happens more with very fresh eggs. So if you are having trouble peeling your eggs, you might want to get some eggs to do boiled eggs and let them sit in your fridge for a week. Because if they're older, they're going to be easier to peel. How about them apples? So I'm going to peel this egg all the way off, and then we'll try putting it in the egg mold. Making a big mess. La, 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 la. All right, so get all that egg off there. Yep, we're good. And then use a little bunny. You're gonna stick the egg in the bunny, and then it's got this nice little latch. And there you go. So I left it in there for a few hours. And once again, the end result is this adorable bunny egg, which I'm going to put in the bento. Alrighty, so there's one thing. Then I'm going to clean off my surface area. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to make super cute sandwiches to go in your bento. So I'm not the biggest fan of white bread, but white bread is really easy to do this with, which is to cut out little shapes. Like I said, you should have gotten a cookie cutter in your kit, or hopefully a couple. I think I tried to give everybody a couple. If you want more, I have more at the library, and you can come by and get some. So the way that you would do this is you would take a piece of bread. Here we have a piece of bread. And then, you could put whatever kind of filling you want to go in it. I am going to show you, let's do cream cheese and cucumber, because I like cream cheese and cucumber. So here's my cream cheese, right? Now, I've let this sit out for a little while, because one thing about cream cheese and one thing about white bread is it's very difficult to spread it. But the good thing about making tiny, weird cookie cutter sandwiches is we're not going to use the whole piece of bread. So we don't have to get it all over the bread. We just have to get it where the cookie cutter is going to go, right? So I think it's going to go right about there. That looks good. I don't know if any of you like watching cooking shows, but I love watching cooking shows, and my favorite is Julia Child. The reason I like Julia Child so much is because she is crazy and wacky, or she was, because now she's dead. But she was crazy and wacky, and she made mistakes, and she wasn't afraid to admit it. So she'd make mistakes, and she'd say, "Whoops, I dropped the turkey on the floor." And then that was that. Okay, so I've got my cream cheese, and I've got my cucumber in the middle, and then I'm going to put my little sandwich guy right on top there, and then we're going to do the cookie cutter on top. So you could do this with the two pieces of bread put together and cut them both together, but I'm doing it this way because, I like making life interesting. So here we go. We're going to end up with a mess. That might be good. I've always believed that if you are in the kitchen and you're cooking and you're not making a mess, then you're probably doing something wrong. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't clean up after you make a mess, but there should be some mess made, I think. So now I'm very carefully separating it, and now I have this little sandwich, which I've got some cream cheese over here that I'll take off and wipe on the bread. And we're going to pop it out of there, which is probably the trickiest part, to pop the sandwich out. Probably also easier if you use like a round cookie cutter. Now, if you didn't have a round cookie cutter, you could use something else to cut it out, like a small cup. So here is my little tiny star sandwich. Yeah. So I'm going to put the little tiny star sandwich in my bento. And then we're going to make all of this magically go away, go over here. Yes. So that's one idea that you can use. And I have cream cheese on my fingers, so I need a paper towel. There we go. And so the next thing that we are going to make is we're going to make these cool little cut out vegetables that you can use to make a salad, or you could use to make little garnishes for your other things. So the way that I did that was I took a carrot, and I'll show you really quick. If you are a professional and you do not want to chop your fingers off, the way that you cut things is you're going to put the knife up against your knuckles, the not sharp part of the knife, and then you're going to slice downwards. And what that does is it keeps you from cutting your fingers off, or even, cutting yourself and then being really sad. and you end up with a pretty even cut. So you could cut again and again. But I've got my one little piece of carrot there. And say this time, instead of doing a star, I'm going to do this little itty bitty little bone that I have a cookie cutter for. So to cut it out, you just press down really hard. And then you have a carrot with a bone cut out in the middle. And then I'm going to use my knife very carefully to pop out the cutout in that. So now I have a little tiny bone. Move that out of the way so you can see, and a little tiny carrot with a bone cut out. So we'll do the same thing with a cucumber. And these cucumbers, I peeled this one just to be fancy. You can get all kinds of crazy with the cucumbers, and you can peel them in stripes down the side. And then when you cut them, you end up with a really pretty cucumber. So I could show you that too if you want. Now we're going to cut the bone out of the cucumber. So here we go. You ready? 1, 2, 3. We have the cucumber cut out of the bone, and then we can place the carrot within the cucumber, and there you see we have a nice cute thing. And then we can take the slimy piece of the cucumber and shove it in the carrot, and oh, it's so fancy. Look how fancy that is. Yay! So these things will also go in our bento box. We'll put them in there, artfully rearrange them. I'm not showing you what's in the bento box until the end because I think it's better that way. All right. So the next thing that I want to show you is one of my favorite things that you can make with a hot dog. I'm not the biggest hot dog fan, but if you give me a hot dog like this, I will eat it. And some of you may have already experienced this in your life, but I present to you a hot dog octopus. That's right, it's an octopus made out of a hot dog. You may be wondering what that beeping sound is. That's a car in our library parking lot. Maybe it'll stop in a second. Anyway, so this little octopus guy, he got a little bit burned this morning because I was making my coffee and I forgot about him for a second. But the way that you make him is you take a hot dog, you cut it in half, and then you slice up 4 times to make the legs, because octopi have 8 legs. And then I use 2 little black sesame seeds to make his face. You can also cut out very carefully, like make him a little beak, and then he really looks like he's gonna, you know, do something like maybe bite you. But there's my octopus made of a hot dog. I'm gonna put him back in the bento. Now, next, what shall we do? I'm going to show you next how to make a special Japanese treat out of sushi rice and nori. So here we go. You'll see if it'll stand up. Yeah, it's standing up. It's not very exciting looking, but it is delicious. To make these, you need sushi rice. So sushi rice is, you can get really complicated about it. The way that I learned to make it when I was a sushi chef took a long time. You can look up recipes online for easier versions, but you will probably need this, which is rice vinegar. Usually it's rice vinegar, sugar, salt, and seaweed, and you let it sit for a while, and then you use that to season the rice, and that's how you make sushi rice. So I'll show you how to make nonigiri. It's got nothing in it, which you could put a little surprise in it. Like sometimes they take pickled plums and put them in there, or you could do a different kind of pickles. So depending on how fancy you want to get. To make that, what you need is you need some sushi rice, which I have here in this lovely container. And it is very sticky. So to keep it from sticking to your hands, you should have some kind of container with some clean water in it. And of course, your hands should be clean before you start doing anything in the kitchen. But you guys know that. So I'm gonna get a little bit of water on my hands so they're damp, and then take some of the sushi rice and, ooh, I dropped some. We're gonna mold it. And this might be something that takes a little bit of practice, but basically you don't want to squeeze it really hard because then you end up with a chewy, nasty, lumpy blah, blah thing that you don't want to eat. You want to kind of just gently form it. It's kind of like that moon sand that you can get when you were a kid that you can form into different shapes. So there I have basically a little triangle shaped guy that's curved around the corners. It may not be perfect, but that's okay because it's pretty good. And then I went to Ingles. I'm gonna rinse off my hands really quick because boy, that stuff's sticky. Wipe them. I went to Ingles, and you can get big sheets of nori at Ingles that you use to make regular sushi, or for 88 cents, you can get organic seaweed snacks, and that is what I use because I didn't need to have a big piece to do this. So I have these little pieces. See, they're little bitty. And all you're gonna do, I tried just folding them because you can do that with bigger nori, but these are so thin that it worked better to cut them with a knife. So I'll cut that out, and then you take that, dip your finger in the water and just dab a little bit of water on it, not much. And then you can wrap it around the outside. And there you have your nice little treat. So also the nori that you use, the seaweed that you use to do this, those little tiny pieces, you can cut out like faces and stuff and put them on your other things that you make. So you could make your sandwich have a really cute little face, or you could make your bunny really angry, or you could give him a mustache, you know, whatever you want to do. So we'll put this once again in our bento over here where you can't see yet because I'm not showing you. All right, so let's see, what's the next thing we want to do? I am going to show you how to make kimchi ham rolls. So to do this, I have natural smoked ham slices. You could do this with any kind of ham that you want, or you could do it with a different kind of meat. If you don't like ham, that's fine. So I'm getting a piece of ham out. Getting a piece of ham out. There we go. There is a piece of ham. Now we are going to find our cream cheese again. I'm a big fan of cream cheese. You may not like cream cheese. If you don't like cream cheese, then you could use something else sticky to do this. Like you could use, you know, mayonnaise might work. I wouldn't go too nuts with mayonnaise because if you get too much mayonnaise on here, it's gonna leak out the sides and be all messy and gross. But maybe you like that in your mayonnaise. I don't know. All right. So we've got our cream cheese on the ham. Yeah. And maybe pick this part out because it got torn a little bit. Put it on the edge. And then wipe the cream cheese off my finger. We're going to get some kimchi, which kimchi is not Japanese. Kimchi is Korean, I think. Yes, Korean. And to kimchi something means basically to pickle it. So you can kimchi just about anything you want. Usually when people talk about kimchi, they mean kimchi cabbage. All right, so we're gonna get a spoon. I bought this once again at the local grocery store. It is delicious and wonderful. It's kimchi Japanese vegetables. Let's read the ingredients list. Cabbage, daikon radish, carrot, horseradish, soy sauce, water, miso, sea salt, ginger, chili pepper, garlic, and orange peel. So I'm going to get some of this out. It is a little bit spicy. So if you like spicy food, you might want to try it. If you don't, you could put something else in. You could do regular pickles, or you could do olives, or you could do a different vegetable. All of that would be good. So I've got my kimchi in the middle on top of my cream cheese, on top of my ham. It smells really good. It's too bad you guys don't have smell-o-vision. All right, so now we're gonna take the end of it and roll it up. So the goal here is to get the cream cheese to meet the cream cheese and the ham to be on the outside. Now we have a tube of ham. So we're gonna take our trusty knife. By the way, if you really like cooking and enjoy it a lot, one of the best things that you can do is to have a good knife. And one of the best things that you can do for your knife is to keep it clean and keep it sharp. Because if you don't have a sharp knife, it's really hard to cut things. Imagine that. All right, so here we go. We are going to slice the ham roll like so with our somewhat sharp knife. And hopefully we will end up with some nice little kimchi ham thingies. Look at that, that's so cute. Oh, that one fell apart. We'll stick it back together. So there you go. Those are nice. So we'll put that once again in our little bento with our other things that we have going on here. What else do we have? I was going to show you one more thing today, possibly, if I can remember where I put my thing to wipe with. There we go. I'm going to wipe off my cutting surface and my knife. Da, 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 da. There we go. Nice and clean-ish. Which, of course, I have to clean everything after we're done. Fun times. Oh, before we do the last thing that we're going to do today, I would like to show you what you, hang on, I'll make this so you can see me again, what you can get as a prize if you make your own bento box and you send us at the library a picture of it. So take a picture. You can email it to us at sppl@amy, that's AMY, regionallibrary.org, or you can post it to us on Facebook. If you do that, there is a chance that you could come to the library and win this. Oh yes, what is it? It appears to be tiny happy donuts with sprinkles. Yeah. So you should make a bento and take a picture of it. All right. So as the last thing that we're going to do today, I'm going to show you how to actually make a sushi roll. This is a little bit more complicated than the other things. The first thing that we're going to do, because once again, we're going to use cream cheese, and this time we're going to use the cucumber again. Here's a cucumber. It is the end of a cucumber. And we're going to do a cool thing with a cucumber. So I've already cut off half of the end because I made the rounds that we used earlier. I'm going to slice off the other end, and then I'm going to run my knife away from me, which is important, around the edge of the cucumber to remove the peel. Now, cucumber is a wonderful thing, but it has all of those seeds in the middle, and the seeds aren't the prettiest part. They're also kind of mushy. So we're not going to use the part that has the seeds in it. These parts that we're getting rid of, along with the parts that we cut off of the bread, would be great to compost or feed to some friendly animal that you like. That is not a bird, because you shouldn't give away bread to birds. So compost. Now we have this tube of cucumber, which is minus the peel. We're going to follow the same process, and we're going to make a thin slice. Just go really slow if you've never done this before, because it's not the easiest thing in the world. But basically, it's like peeling it again. Make a very thin roll around the outside of the cucumber. And then it gets even trickier when you get towards the middle, because that's where those squishy seeds are. So we'll stop once we get to the middle. So now, once again, more compost. We have a flat piece of cucumber. So if we want to take this, we can slice it into little matchstick sections, which, you know, you could do this with as big of a piece of cucumber as you want. And this is how you prep or prepare a lot of vegetables when you put them in sushi, because you want them to be in very small pieces so it's easy to bite into the sushi roll. So this is what one of them looks like. It's not very big. All right. So the next thing we need is this lovely sushi mat. So I'm going to take my cucumbers and set them aside somehow. Let's see, what can I put them in? I'm going to take my cucumbers and I'm going to put them in this nice clean cup that I have. So they'll be ready in a minute when I need them. All right. And here's my sushi mat. So sushi mat, if you're going to make a lot of sushi, it would be worth it to take saran wrap, and you just kind of set this down on the saran wrap, and then you flip it and flip it and flip it until the whole thing is covered in saran wrap. But since we're only making one thing today, I'm not going to do that. The reason you do it is if sticky rice gets down in between those little bamboo slats, it's really not much fun to clean it off, especially if you forget about it and it dries. Then you are not going to have fun cleaning your sushi mat. So we're going to get a sheet of nori. Nori is seaweed sheets, and they smell really nice. I like the way they smell. See if I can manage to just get one out. There we go. So with the nori, you can, it's got lines on it. They're kind of hard to see, but it does have lines on it. And you can fold it in half, just like you would a sheet of paper. And then fold it in half again. Yep, there we go. And then you should be able to break it apart on that fold. So here we have half of a nori sheet. So you're going to take your nori sheet and you kind of put it about an inch up from the closest edge of the sushi mat to you. And, you know, it rolls like this. So the stripes are this way. All right. So once again, we're going to use some of our sushi rice, and we don't want it to stick to ourselves. So I'm going to get my hands wet. And then take a little bit of the rice. And a lot of people, the first time they make sushi, they use too much rice. So it's best to have too little than too much when you're doing this. And I need to wet my hands one more time. We're going to spread the rice out across the nori. And then I'm putting it on about 2/3 of the seaweed. So I've got a section up at the top here that does not have any rice on it. And I am doing this onto the rough side of the nori. That's important. Okay, so because our theme today seems to be cream cheese, we're going to do cream cheese and cucumber. Sushi. All right, so here we have the cream cheese, and if you want to get really special about it, we'll make sure that it goes all the way across, and that means that when you bite into your sushi, every little piece of it is going to have the same ingredients. And then we have our cucumber that we just prepped, so we're going to put some of the cucumber on here, and don't go too crazy with the cucumber because like I said before about the seeds, it is kind of slippery, and once it gets in the roll, it kind of likes to shoot out. Now, when I'm making my sushi, I like it to be pretty, and so I like a little bit of the pieces to stick out over the edge, and I'll show you what that does when we cut it. So, but you want it to be even all the way across, you know, you don't want to have like a lump of stuff in the middle and then like barely anything on the sides. You kind of want it to be even all the way across. So take your time, arrange your things. I think that looks pretty good. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to use your wonderful hands again and dip your finger into the water, run it along that top edge of the nori. And I'm going to slide the nori towards me so it's on the edge of the mat. And then we're going to do the magical part. So the magical part is gently hold the ingredients in place, flip the edge up and over, make it meet before the nori ends. So the part of the bamboo is sitting before the end of the nori. Flip it back up, continue to roll, close it. I'm going to make a triangle with mine. So I go, So slide your hands with firm pressure along the length of it. And then when we open it up, we have this nice triangular little thing, and one of our cucumbers fell out over here. So I might just put him aside with the other cucumber friends. Now we have a roll. Woohoo! That was fun. Next thing that we need is a clean knife again. And so you want a clean, very sharp knife. This is not such a sharp knife, but it's the sharpest one I could find this morning. This is a cool knife trick for cutting your sushi. What we're going to do is you're going to take your clean water that you have, dip your knife into the water, roll it up so that the water goes down the tip of the knife. I'm trying to show you how to do this, but it's difficult with the camera. And then you tap it so the water runs down. And the water on the knife does the same thing that the water on your hands did. It makes it so that when you go to cut the sushi, it's not going to stick as much. So to cut it, I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to turn it so it's equal next to each other. I might have to stop and clean my knife again because there is so much cream cheese involved in this little bento box that I am making. So much cream cheese. All right, now we're going to cut it in thirds. So cut and then cut again. And you kind of want to like have more forward motion than smooshing. Like if you smoosh it, then you will end up with squishy sushi and it won't look as pretty. So then we can turn our sushi up and ta-da! Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So there's our sushi. It looks pretty good. That's called maki. It's a roll of sushi. I'm going to try to arrange my little situation I have going on here in the bento box so that the sushi has a place to go. And almost ready. Yep. I'm going to pick it up and put it in here. And then we are pretty much ready for you guys to see the finished product that we have been working on here at the Spruce Pine Public Library. with your bento box. And that is this. Oh, look at that. There's the little octopus guy, and there's the egg, and there's the sushi rolls that we made, and the sandwich, and the vegetables. Ooh, it's so pretty. So that is our bento box for today. And then because I have my super cool lid that has my super cool stickers on it, I can just go ahead and close it up. And there you go. That's my lunch tomorrow that you guys helped me make. Thanks a lot, guys. I know Richie says hello. Okay, so if you enjoyed doing this, I would suggest that you make your own bento box. And if you need more ideas, come to the library, get some books. Books are good for you. It's summer reading, you can win prizes. Or you can look up stuff online. So I will also try to post some links to different fun bento box ideas that you can check out on your own. I hope you guys had fun, and I hope that you try some of this stuff. Thanks. Bye. Oh, next time we're making origami fireworks. So you should join us in 2 weeks for that. All right. Bye.